December, but right now here in the women's division, Aces 11, here in the first ever women's 11-a-side state championship, they lead Hendeka 14 points to 6 with 2 more quarters of football to play. I'm Kenny Andres. I've got Ella Briscoe with me and Liam Reeves floating about as well. We've got one more half of football to play here with a 8-point deficit between these two teams. Ella, what do you see happening in the second half, or what do you think needs to happen here in the second half, let's say for Hendeka, who currently trails?
Yeah, look, for me, it's probably a bit of intensity that they've got to pick up. They've shaped with some really interesting looking play work and have really held on, but looked nervous throughout most of that first half, just like they weren't quite settled. If they can overcome those nerves and play with a little bit more aggression, I think we're in for a good second half.
I think so too. This first kickoff though goes out of bounds, and ultimately with the way the field position game has been working anyway, not the worst thing in the world. They'll either get the option to re-kick or they'll take the ball from where it went out of bounds.
Receiving team will take the ball 30 yards from where it was kicked. First down.
Yeah, the wind playing a factor, like you were saying. I'd take that call to have where it went out of bounds rather than have it re-kick it. If she gets another shot at it, could end up all the way down near the end zone. So that's pretty good field position to get.
And dare I say
second half underway.
In juniors, Colts and the women's division there, with not too many booming kickers dominating those leagues, if you can get a touchback, that is a huge field position advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something we see in the NFL all the time, so we think it's just a given, but kicking that ball is not an easy task.
It's not an easy task, not at all. And this first play for Aces 11, who deferred their option in the first half, goes for a loss of 2, almost 3.
And see, there you go, straight up, that bit of intensity brought from the D line. Pretty sure that was B. Clement in there with the stop.
There's Rochelle Ware in the number 22 jersey with one of the biggest motors you will see in women's football. And there is a nice completion underneath there. Ewers continues a busy day underneath there. I think is Botel, though. It is indeed. Got it right, finally. It's 26, 28, and 20 all look the same to me. Tackle on the play by Ellie Sharman.
Yeah, good chase by number 7 there. She let her get away for a second, and obviously the completed pass, but quickly ran her down and stopped her for a short gain.
3rd down and long. 3rd and 8 is the official mark-up. We've got 2 receivers against Tricky here on the near side, but Ewers will call her a number, and to much success, that is another 10 or 12 yards on the ground there to Amanda Ewers. Now, every time we've thought there's been a receiving matchup for her, Ewers called her a number, and it's worked.
Yeah, once again, seeing the field, getting some space by that O-line, which has really been quite powerful and dominant here for the Aces. If they continue that, the run game's going to be hard to stop.
And they've lost the ball. Ewers, though, has the awareness to dive on it after locating the fumble. That'll make it 2nd and a double sticks upcoming there. That's probably the first, technically the second ball security issue that we've seen from Aces there. Last play of the first half, albeit leading to the offensive line getting their hands on the football, was technically a fumble.
And I ran into a few offensive line players outside, and they were all cheering for that play. So excited to see an O-lineman with the ball in their hands.
Well, and then see them lateraling to each other. Next level, Ewers, left side throw. Too much pepper, pass intended to Riley Hodgson. Third and long now,
and this is whereas Hendeka, you're like, I haven't seen too many people throwing up their hands as their on-field leaders, but this is we need to get ourselves pumped here, and this is the chance to make a big stop, big play.
The question is, do you unload here, assuming they're a pass, or do you the Aces 11 consider this 2 down or 4 down territory. Midfield-ish. Showing blitz.
They're definitely...
Decker, they only send... they send 5. Oh. One of them almost gets home. That's Hayes. But eluding the pressure initially is Ewers before she's taken down maybe half a yard past the line of scrimmage. So a win there to Hendeka.
And that's good defensive play there by Hendeka. They get a defensive end coming through in Hayes, putting pressure on the quarterback. Unlucky that she wasn't able to make the tackle, but then good fill from the backside from the linebackers.
And a quick change up. Hayes jumps off the field. Laura Ball comes on to try and get some pressure. They've got an incomplete pass there. Pass intended to Cubis there, but can't connect. Turnover on downs, and Decker will get an opportunity to score first here in the second half. Before we go too far away though, Laura Bowl there, who was just on that last play, moving over from technically the Logan City Club, if memory serves correctly, was a huge volunteer in the Cubs contingent of the Logan City group. Just want to check my notes, sure about that. Yes, indeed, I was right. First down and 10. They're going to rugby league pitch this to Moran on the left-hand side. The Beast has been quiet so far. Late flags. Near side sideline.
I reckon you're probably going to have a holding back here.
Likely
which will be a shame.
All things considered. Trying to figure out exactly for the replay where the hold might have been. I see a double team take place. Everything seems all right there. Maybe it was a receiver at a bit of a dirty grab.
Substitution infraction.
Well, the penny was declined, so I think it was actually... I missed that call there. Good, so I might need my director to filter in the referee calls there as they come. Second down and 10. Cody Fuller kept quiet in the first half despite a couple of targets. She's got a bit of space out here on the open side of the field now. They would love some production out of her.
Yeah, not exactly sure what happened on that last play. Obviously the run's been rubbed off the board, but they've still got their downs. So.
Here goes Moran. Has a first down there, and that might be the run that might ignite her here in the second half.
Yeah, look, clearly someone's been listening to me talking out near the bathrooms, because I was saying to a few people that they really need to get Moran in space, and the only way to do that is with some outside pitch options. Get her outside the box instead of feeding it to her on the inside, and voila, we have yardage.
Good news travels fast. First down and 10, ball on the Aces 11-25. Sounds like a nuclear code.
Oi. It's a nice try.
What do we got?
Good work, Liz.
And Liz Patu trying to time the snap cadence. No dice.
Now she's trying to argue that she got herself back on side.
Prior to the snap, offside, defence number 9. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Unfortunately, a little bit of contact made through there on the way.
It is funny, in my talks with Kelhausen earlier in the week, he did mention that there has been communication of them trying to find a bit more balance with some of the blitzes from their linebackers, trying to create a little more discipline and have faith that they can still make plays without having to, actively blitz, especially with some of the athleticism they have in this front seven. Short pass out there to Palmer. She's been a threat so far, I'll say, on the outside. 2 big opportunities gone begging, though, to her in the second quarter. Got behind the defense twice.
Yeah, she'll be kicking herself for those plays later, but it's done and dusted now, so moving forward.
Second down. And about 3 or 4 yards to go. They'll pitch it again out to Moran, who's again got some space. Cody Fuller looking at a block. Moran uses the right hand to stiff arm her way inside the 5, and knock, knock, knock. Here comes Hendeka.
Yeah. It's good to watch. Number 6 in a bit of space. It's what she does best. Those one-on-one misses. Pure speed.
I was about to say, you just saw the angle there and the penetration early from the defensive end. I think it was Tamara O'Connor, but Moran literally just outrunning her. And they'll do it again to the open side, but it's a bad pitch. Moran will take the safe option here. Second and goal, but all the way back out to the 11. Lonnie Botel pointing out directions. Had a year away from the Griffith Uni Thunder, played for the Moreton Bay Raptors last year, I believe.
Correct.
And now back playing with a lot of our old teammates here at Aces 11.
Oh.
Pass intended to Cody Fuller, who, by my opinion, was
going to waltz in.
Waltz into the end zone, but...
Nice little slant route underneath both the corner and the safety. She would have gone straight in, but the ball just wasn't there, unfortunately.
And fair to say, Cody Fuller's 2 favourite routes, the slant and the fade. She was available for that one there, but Torres couldn't get it to her. 3rd down and goal.
They just need to settle themselves here, Hendecker. They've shown they've got the ability to move the ball.
This time, Fuller lined up inside. Let's see if they send it to the back of the end zone, but they won't. They'll go to Del Palma's direction here on 3rd down. Pass too high, coverage too tight. Torres takes the shot as she throws.
If you stay down.
Oh, we're gonna have to figure out the quarterback depth here for Hendecker. Assistant coach Andy Miller now coming on the field to suss things out.
Oh, I see Rach Duchebrand walking onto the field.
I was wondering.
Very distinctive strut. I see you.
And she's that in the number 9 jersey, and there you can see some warm-ups happening here for the men's division. There's the reigning champions, the Bayside Ravens, many of them donning the 20-year anniversary shirts there for the Bayside Ravens. Established in 2000, took them 19 years to win a championship, but that they did, and here they are with an opportunity to go back-to-back. But on Duchebrand there, she's been, to my knowledge, been working a fly-in, fly-out job, so has been a bit of a part-time player here for Hendecker, but fortunately has been able to suit up for today.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to prove its worth now. She's a quality backup to have, knows the role well.
Played quarterback for the Panthers for her opposing coach today. Back at the start of her career, ended up starting for the Bayside Ravens. And then at the Raptors, played a little more defense and wide receiver, but I like to think there's a little bit of a riding the bike aspect to playing quarterback. Here she is now. Moran behind her. Swaysland flanking her to the left. She'll put April in motion. And they'll go back to the slant for Cody Fuller. And Fuller stretches out. It's been kept quiet all day, but it was a matter of time. And you can see she's happy about that one.
There you go. What a good time to score a touchdown.
How about Rachel Duchebrand?
Like you said, it's like riding a bike.
Like riding a bike.
Straight back in there. So clearly I could just run out on the field tomorrow and throw a pass like that.
It's just simple maths, right?
It's simple, yeah. No, great ball. They saw that pass and that play a little bit earlier. They had that look at it and had a feel for the Aces defense. And this time managed to convert. Great play.
Good job disguising. They went back to the same concept but dressed it up a little bit just to disguise it. And then Ike Summerfield having the faith in Duchebrand there, who's hasn't had a whole lot of snaps at quarterback, I would have to imagine, and went back to it despite the situation. And he's rewarded with a touchdown. Duchebrand, plenty of moxie now. She'll pitch it to Moran, and Moran will find the corner with ease.
Yes.
Ching, 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 and there is that patented Moran fist pump. Scores a level here midway through the third. 14-14. Game on.
Great work by Hendecker there. That's great composure. when your starting QB goes down, and I admit I saw Torres walk off the field, albeit she had a bit of a limp, but fingers crossed she'll shake that off. When your starting QB goes down and you can still bring your second string on and put together 2 plays that result in a touchdown and 2 points, that's good signs.
I think you found half of the missing recipe, just finding a way to get Moran to the outside, as he just reiterated. And me and Liam Reeves here having a cheeky giggle at Chrissy Torres celebrating on the sideline there as her teammates came back to the sideline there. So that's what you like to see. We'll see what that injury comes up with eventually. Del Palma's on screen now, set to kick off. Looks like she'll handle all of the kicking duties now. And this will be a line drive straight into the arms of Amanda Ewers. She'll patiently set up some blocks, has a bit of space to the right-hand side, reads the blocks effectively, and will be taken down eventually there from Dania Herdman, who's been a busy young woman this afternoon.
Yeah, good play by her there. Herdman, bit of an individual effort. She got blocked fairly solid, and I thought was out of it, but they managed to shake it off and make the tackle.
Speaking about shaking off, how about Taylor Swift just dropping Melbourne out of nowhere? Just me? All right, don't worry about it. 14-14, scores here.
Made your 2020, did it?
Here we are as the women's division, middle of the third. Ewers looking to the left. And a catch, a tough catch made there by Agnes Salofa. First time I've called her name this afternoon there, showing off some skills and some composure to bring that pass in.
Yeah, once again, some really good route running by the Aces team here. Especially yards after catch, like obviously on a bit of an out route there, and then manages to turn herself inside away from the defenders and get some vertical yards upfield.
Just to address some of the comments coming here, asking where these teams come from. Well, it's hard to say really, as we'll address that after this next play. First down and 10. Aces 11 with a speed option. Ewers will choose to keep it. It's defended well there by Hen Decker. Now to answer that question, well, if we're talking very literally, the Aces 11 side is based out of Nathan here in down in Brisbane, which is the home of the Griffith University Thunder. But they are not considered the Thunder. They are the Aces 11, and conversely, Hen Decker, based out of Carina, where the Bayside Ravens are located, but of course are under the moniker of Hen Decker. So Carina also based in Brisbane. 2 Brisbane-based women's side here. Snaps over the top of Ewers. Ewers will have to clean up. Won't try to scoop and regather. We'll just take this to the ground. And now we will have a third and very long. Jess Norcliffe checking in, former Gold Coast Stingrays player, celebrating Cody Fuller's touchdown. And Becky Martin saying that...
Is that Beaky Martin, yeah, all the way from Old England?
And saying that she started with the Panthers, not the Ravens. Go back through the stream there, Becky. You'll see that I mentioned that you started with the Panthers. Check yourself. Ewers out to the right, flushed, and now we'll just put the head down and try to break a tackle, but the tackling has improved here from Hindeka here in the second half.
What was that? Number
That's
27.
Karen Christian.
Yes. Great follow through on the line.
Dina Davey loving that offensive line action from the first half. Gillette Nichols also, a player who played in the 2019 season in the women's division. Hannah Wiles tuning in. Lauren Evans.
Holding offense, number 51. That penalty is declined. That brings up 4th down.
Now, for those who might be unfamiliar to the sport and wondering, accepting penalties, declining penalties, obviously a team generally, in most situations, get the opportunity to accept or decline a penalty, and if the result of the play is actually more favourable for them, well, logic would dictate they will decline the option to receive that penalty. 14-14, one of the closer games we've had so far. The first junior game earlier this morning ended up being 28-12 in favor of the Gold Coast Stingrays. It's the first time we don't have a Columbia Blue team, obviously, albeit due to the nature of the women's comp. A fake handoff, throws off her back foot, almost picking up the catch and coming back for it is Cubis. Had a very, no, sorry, Hodgson, my apologies, the other Australian wide receiver.
So I know she was lying on the ground, but even Cubis is tall when she's lying on the ground.
Yeah, I couldn't have picked two more contrasting wide receivers, could I? And just getting a look at, oh geez, we might be getting excited about this weather a little too soon. We've got Liam Reeves giving me the bomb radar there, and we look like we've got a little love coming to the north side of, or north of Brisbane, I should say. If we're lucky, we might give just a little bit here. We might get a bit of rain, and maybe some of that storm will stay away. But hey, touch of wood, weather's been good to us so far, I believe. 3 minutes and 25 seconds remaining here in quarter number 3. Scores are locked up after Hendeka scored a driver go via Cody Fuller.
Yeah, and then a big defensive stand there. We see a 4th down turnover. Hendeka now with the ball again.
And an inside give
up through the
back to
guts.
Moran. They're going to keep the defense honest, I suppose.
She had to work for those yards.
Amy
She's
Tyson
about
there.
5, I think. So a healthy first run.
Yeah, we'll call that a long 4 or a short 5. Here we are on 2nd down. In grey and blue, Hendeka in possession of the football. Torres clearly still not good, sitting on the sideline. Dutraban still calling the shots, and this play will be called dead.
Delay of game, number 9. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
And that's always the downside of being the backup quarterback coming into a game. You don't have your rhythm. Just getting done.
We're going to try and figure out the 4-1-1 on Torres, who's up and standing and on the sideline. Dutraban is, though,
Remains in at this
current
stage.
quarterback.
I'm just having trouble picking up the number of the edge here for the Aces
You and me both, sister.
on the right-hand side, but she's sort of keyed in on Moran now. Oh dear.
And it's a high snap over Dutraban's head, and it looks like Aces has recovered. Scooping that ball up is a Meadow Lano. Another OG Panther coming through with a big play here. She's not at all unfamiliar with the big stage of Sun Bowl football.
Yeah, I love seeing that for the defense. Like I said earlier, there's a bad snap. You want to get downfield real quick. And that's unfortunate for the Hendeka team because their centre had been playing really well. Alex Aarons hadn't made any mistakes, and just that little lapse in concentration, different quarterback, different cadence.
Yeah, well, they're probably sitting around the same height, Dutraban and Torres.
Yeah, height wouldn't have been an issue. It just would have been just a little bit of concentration lapsing there and a mistake, unfortunately. But
Ewers, speed option left. Liz Patu finally getting in on the offensive action, but absolutely chopped down behind the line of scrimmage by Super 7, Ellie Sharman.
way to put your body on the line there, 7.
And she's stoked about it too. Look at her. She's bouncing around like she just had a couple of Red Bulls.
You watched the replay there, and Patel was running, and the only way to stop her from running is to cut her legs down. So great tackle there.
Absolute unit. She remains in the backfield. Sharman might have to try and do that once more.
Here she comes again.
They will send her right back at her. Spread formation. They will look to attack the middle of the field with Hodgson. Hodgson looks the ball in. She's got it by a yard. That is a conversion there on 2nd and long.
And we got some happy supporters out here to my left. The Cubis fan squad.
I knew they couldn't be too far away.
Say hi, everybody.
And first down inside the red zone now. Aces 11 find themselves. Ball on the, looks like the 17. Ewers looks left immediately.
Oh,
Geez,
I would have jumped on that.
The whistles came in very early though, as did that flag in the middle of the field. There was an incomplete pass based on the signals, and it looks like it'll be holding against Aces.
Yeah.
Holding, number 51. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
Marty Toa getting caught up in holding infringement. Second down and long. Back in the spread, Ewers were the 1st and 20. Looking immediately to strike downfield, this time to Cubis. They ran the same concept, but changed the receivers, and Cubis couldn't bring that one in after having such a strong second quarter. She has been largely kept under wraps. And a change up there. Looks like Newell might be coming back in to anchor part of this line.
Yeah, and that ball might just have a little bit more on it than Cubis was expecting, because it seemed to hit her hands quite forcefully and just bounce straight back out. So uncharacteristic of her.
Laura Newell checks in a right tackle. Staying in the same formation, a bit of power running here, but check that. Ewers keeps it herself, and that ball almost squirms out.
Yeah, Marissa making no mistake of it on that occasion. She finally got to Ewers, and this time actually gets her to ground. Good effort there by the defensive end, Marissa Hayes.
I'll tell you what, Marissa Hayes playing defensive end hasn't that been a revelation. Obviously was a very hard-working wide receiver, one of the best blocking wide receivers I've seen in the nation. But her move to defensive end has been outstanding over the last couple of seasons. It's been a journey, but she's found a way to be incredibly productive coming off the edge.
First time out for the half.
Yeah, look, she understands the game. She knows the position, knows what she has to do. She sees the offense for what it's capable of, so she, as a defensive mind, it's handy. So while she may not be the biggest defensive edge out there, she certainly can be disruptive. And as you saw just then, her role was to watch the quarterback, stop that rollout, and she got to her, made the play.
She did. 14-14 here with a timeout late in the third quarter. 18 seconds remaining here in quarter number 3. This game awfully close. And if you just were reading the prospects of this game on paper or on the GQ website, you would think the Aces 11 side would be in for a bit of an easy route if you look at some of those early score lines. But Coach Summerfield from Hendeka kind of joked with me as he was speaking to me through the week and said, look, if you just look at all the scores, we're trending to a victory.
Yeah, absolutely. There's more than enough talent on this Hendeka team. It's, you know, with this game, it's all about putting those chess pieces together and finding the combos that work.
For sure.
And when they work, you get plays like that.
Sure, we're getting on the tackle number 2. I might get you to do the dance with Liam Reeves there as he has some updates on Chrissy Torres. As he's run down to the field, the least I can do is give him a mic.
So it's time for your GQ TMZ update again. Well, look, I was on my way over there, but she seemingly was playing in the box safety again. They may keep Dutraband in, they're not sure. They might do a 2 QB system. Excuse me, we've been running the stairs again. So, be interested to see how they go going forward.
All right, thank you.
Oh, I saw a fish.
Liam Reeves was doing the hard yards today. We'll eventually get the camera so he can just stay down there.
Yeah, the information doesn't get any fresher than that, people. It has been run from the field to the box.
So an interesting factor there. Here we assumed that's the end of quarter number 3. We're moving into the money quarter now. 12 minutes remaining in this matchup. Scores level 14-14, but we assumed it was injury based. But Torres is comfortable enough to play at safety, and it looks like going to Dutrabrand is a game plan decision.
Yeah, well, it's not a bad decision.
Well, it resulted in a touchdown.
It paid for them. So, yeah, I'd be definitely, as Coach Summerfield, I'd be very confident leaving her in as the playmaker, or play caller, I should say.
Why not? 4th down now. A long, long way to travel. I do love how that clock says 11:60 opposed to 12. What a funny way of saying 12. 12 minutes remaining. 2 flags thrown on the first play here in the 4th quarter.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 66. 5-yard
Definitely
penalty.
seeing a lot more
Remains
energy
4th
there
down.
on the Hendecker field. The defence, there's a couple of little dances happening.
Yeah, it's the time to have it.
Means they're also out there enjoying football.
Becky Martin, your apology is accepted. I hope that coffee treats you well. All right, take 2. Start of the 4th quarter. 4th and forever. Loading up
Big
and
play.
throwing
Oh.
was Ewers to Hodgson. And it is just out of her catch radius. And Hodgson with a broken hand, which I'm only now just seeing is strapped up to a degree. She was cradling it on the way back there. So that'll be a turnover on downs, and Hendecker, sans one play, will get the first possession of the 4th quarter.
Yeah, look, 100% healthy. I'd say Hodgson makes a better play on that ball, but definitely a little bit overthrown, so unlucky there. I think the wind might have come into play, Kenny.
Why not? All about the wind. It's still a factor. I'm still looking at that Hendecker flag. It's
Yeah,
still
absolutely.
blowing a gale.
And that's the first play that the Aces had running back with the wind. So that's something that Ewers is going to have to take into
here
account.
we go. The wind might have just pushed that pitch a little too far back there. And, well, Hendecker has just done Aces the favour of losing just as much yardage as Aces did on their last drive.
Yeah, that's a timing issue there, unfortunately. New QB running back combo. Just got to iron those kinks out.
Plenty of the GQ women's sorority tuning in. Sam Lingman, Juanita Hall as well. Mickey Two-Ton Thompson.
Oh, the gang's here.
2nd down. Cody
Great
Fuller
slam.
open as can be.
There
Picks
you
up
go.
some of that yardage back. She really knows how to run that slant, doesn't she?
Yeah, great positioning there. You see that she gets herself as the receiver in between the first line of defenders and the secondary. Manages to put her body between.
Oh, that is some shady news coming our way.
Yeah, let's
pretend that
let's
doesn't
pretend we
exist.
can't see the weather, and let's just enjoy the weather-free football.
Men's Sunball coming up at 6 p.m. Fingers crossed we get out of here at a decent time.
Oh,
Ball is
winds up.
sailed and over the head of Candice Suwaisland and too far out of reach there for April Arnold.
I must say the play calling from both sides of the field on their offense has been really good. We're seeing a lot of different looks from our wide receiver routes, and the vast majority are getting completed. We're only seeing the 1 or 2 that are unfortunately not executed as well. But the quality of play is right up there.
I certainly agree, and especially with the pass concepts, but some of these snaps are starting to go wayward for both teams. Del Palmer tries her best, but her best results in a massive turnover on downs here for Hendecker, or shall I say in favour of Aces 11, who instead of returning a punt will now get field position right at the doorstep of Hendecker.
And that's a big play right there. Massive play for the second half.
Look at Ali Tia getting hyped as well. Something, when you look at the Aces huddle, and talking about huddle etiquette, This is one of the few teams that still uses what we used to call the old choir approach, where everyone stands in front of the quarterback opposed to the more commonly used, more circular huddle nowadays. First down and 10. Underneath is one of the 20 receivers, and I will hold my call. It is Botel. And we have a Aces player down. I'm trying to make out who it is.
I think it's Marty Tatoa.
Number 51 there.
Because Botel gets back up, so I think it's Marty.
Olmedo Luano looks like she's coming on, and that would make sense as far as replacements go. And once more, the production team here, I believe it's Sam, a director, is just trying to scare us with what's to come. Sunshine Coast postseason football and horrid weather. Name a better couple. I'll wait.
We've had some absolute doozies up here. We've had hail, we've had lightning, we've had thunder.
Ain't that right?
Gale
ladies?
force winds.
And that dates back, if you guys think that that's limited to the live stream era, that extends well into the early 2000s. I'll tell you that now. And we got a extended break and play here, and there's someone I didn't get to mention there, Courtney Yutsoy. I just love how she keeps finding ways to stay involved with women's football down here in the Southeast Queensland division. It is not an easy ask, and let me rehash her story for those who might be tuning in for the first time or not be quite aware of Courtney's lifestyle. She lives at Moranbah, and that is Marty Toa getting assisted off the field. She looks like her day might be done. Kilhausen helping his captain off the field. But Courtney Yutsoy lives in Moranbah, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and has to travel to her nearest team at Mackay Mavericks, and that's a 3-hour trip itself every time, and then finds a way to get down here to Queensland to play in some of the teams played for the Raptors in seasons past, and here she is playing for Hendeka. Is otherwise a regular official, and she's back up there. But Marty Toa looks like she's definitely in some pain here on the sideline, but she's got smiles with her teammates supporting her. Liz Patu helping her, and I think that's that Ewers as well. But we're back underway, and it couldn't be Ewers because Ewers is toting the football.
No, it's Beck Hirsch.
Of course, Beck Hirsch. Is she also a physio or something of that nature?
She is indeed. And now resident Aces medic.
Indeed. Still located down south in the Gold Coast direction?
I believe so, yes.
14. Give you a plug if I could there, Beck, but I don't know your business that well, I'm afraid. Third down. A chance here to take the lead. Still plenty of time on the clock, though, so not going to erupt over any scores, but 3 receivers out to the left. Ewers rolls that direction. Looking short underneath. Has to tuck it back in. Will basketball pass it into the end zone. I lied. I will erupt. That was awesome.
We've seen it all.
And that is the number 7 at Agnes Salofa. Got on the stat sheet here in the second half earlier with an impressive catch up to Sam, and this time backs it up with a touchdown. Ewers throwing her third tutty for the day. That's the sort of... That rarely ever works in quarterbacks' favours when you go to the chest pass.
And this is what Ewers does. She makes something out of nothing. She was in all sorts of bother there, 6s and 7s, and then manages to pull out that sort of pass. Question might be over whether she's past the line of scrimmage, but I'm pretty sure she was behind it. The referees were right on top of that.
Well, that is obviously the...
Yeah, they're calling it a touchdown.
There it is, touchdown confirmed. But I think that probably resulted out of having to roll to her offside. There's a lot of movement that is necessary to complete a pass when you roll to your offhand side. In this case, it's to Ewers' left. And usually you try to move your body around so you can throw it accurately, but instinct just took over there for Amanda Ewers. And she just...
Perhaps she had a championship netball career that we are unaware of. Because she just channeled some of it right there.
Right into goal attack. Meadow Luano, never afraid to show her emotion, getting a little hype on the right side of the line. 2-point conversion here now for Aces 11 to extend this lead. A very good jump there from Marissa Hayes, and Botel had it on the line. Rotated a bit too much, couldn't bring it in, so that will remain a 6-point lead here to Aces 11. 9 minutes remaining on the clock here in the Women's Sun Bowl 2020. Puts her hands to her head, wondering what happened. So a touchdown here separates the two teams, but a chance for Hendeka to level and then take the lead with a successful conversion. But right now the driver's seat belongs to Aces 11. And Moran, they've put her at the top of this triangle of returners here. That's where the ball has been predominantly landing from the Aces 11 kicks. Riley Hodgson readying herself for the kickoff. And they will continue this squib. It goes between the legs of Marissa Hayes, and that is the 11 and Herdman. Bit of excitement arising out of the crowd there for a second, given some of the things she's done this afternoon, but eventually gets shut down just shy of halfway.
Yeah, definitely the sort of play you don't want to give too much room to.
Comian Zaglo, former Thunder Colt, saying that I love that LB is back. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say you mean LSB, and if that's the case, LSB is glad it's back too. In the Facebook comments there. Torres is back at quarterback.
Yeah, an important drive here for Hendeka, and unfortunately, first play, a bit of miscommunication.
Right there, they were hoping that changing quarterbacks might result in the same result last time they did it, which was a touchdown immediately. That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Plenty of time still on the clock. They don't need to panic or rush anything here. Just settle back into the groove.
Pitch out again. Oh, but Laura Newell knew what was up there. Shut down that play real quick. Moran tried to get to the outside. Newell's angle was too good on this occasion. I'll check that. Sorry, Meta Luano. My apologies, of course. Very much an experienced edge defender.
I'm sure there's been some instructions go out there to those ends to obviously contain that pitch out option. So whilst it came out strong at the start of the second half, it's certainly lost its shine.
Well, that's it. Adjustments after adjustments after adjustments. And they try to get that ball to Fuller again. And look, I know she's been successful there, but that time she had 4 white jerseys. Getting closer and closer to her. And I think we've got a timeout here to Hendeka. That'll be the first team charged timeout here for the second half.
Yeah, so as you can see, obviously, Coach Howson's talking with his defensive unit and he's making those necessary adjustments to really shut down what Hendeka's being able to come up with in the second half. And this is where the arm wrestle really kicks in. The coaches have to call these plays and make decisions based on what personnel they've got on the field.
What I think actually might be fascinating is here's where the conditioning will really come in the bench rotation, because effectively this is, for the Nine-a-side days, this is effectively the game would have been wrapped up as far as minutes to go, and here there is effectively a full quarter to go. Lights on here at Sunshine Coast Stadium. And a Torres pass finds Del Palma. They finally get the deep reception they've been aiming for all game along. This time Del Palma takes it down to the 22.
Great work there. Really strong pass by Torres, standing tall in the pocket, getting every little inch out of her. Finding a receiver wide there. That was great pass, great catch.
Getting behind a quality defender there, and Beck Hirsch as well.
And she had plenty of pressure coming through. So like I said, had to really stand strong in the pocket, put all that trust and faith in her blockers.
That's where bravery comes in when you're playing the quarterback position. Sometimes
Okay.
you just have to accept you're going to get hit. First down and 10. Apologies, ball on the 23, it appears. Moran back into the action, sheds the first would-be tackler, and eventually a host of others rally to bring her down, and then another
Late
sassy
flag.
flag throw coming in from the
Sassy
umpire
flag.
position. I'm trying to see if there's any holding calls there, maybe, but it is a very late flag.
Face mask, defence. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal line. First down.
And that would make sense there. It's because there was a face mask there, and that will give them half distance here, and Decker now with a prime opportunity to level things up. I can't quite see it on the angle. I think honestly our umpire there, Nigel Law, is in a better position than we'll ever be to make that call, so we'll take his word. He's there for a reason. And he goes Moran up the middle. Minimal yardage. Beautiful tackle there from Jessica Samonte.
Yeah, small gain, but I like the play calling. We've come back to a more traditional inside run. The outside was getting shut down, so they're mixing it up, mixing the run game up. And as we've seen, Torres has proven she can pass the ball anytime, anywhere. It's opening up the playbook nicely.
She's got inside leverage there with Palmer if she wants it. Moran's the ball though, and
Gets a
carefully
great block.
tiptoes her way past some blocking, and will be tackled down at the 2. And that's Lani Bertel taken down.
It's unfortunate she couldn't score on that one off a great block.
Oh, that was April, I believe, April Arnold laying the lumber.
Putting her body on the line. It's great work.
Looks like we've got a timeout here. It looks like it's to Hendeka, judging by how quickly that team came to the sideline. 20 points to 14. Hendeka looking for the match leveling score. This cloud just appearing like a bad smell or the unwanted party guest. You weren't invited. 6:20 remaining here in the 4th.
I actually think that timeout was taken by Aces if our
Was it?
school...
I didn't miss it, unfortunately. I'm trying to look at it on our screen, and Aces, it does appear that I've
Yeah.
used another timeout. My apologies there.
Obviously, Coach Housen just wanting to slow things down a little bit, have a chat to his defence. I saw some personnel switch up. I noticed Cubis is out on Fuller. So that's an interesting matchup. That's going to...
Well, what's interesting is that she's playing head up. To me, that looks like outside leverage, so they'll give it to Moran, though. Moran almost stuffed
second
up
effort.
and gets a bit of help there to knock her over the line there. And Moran always been quick to praise her teammates. Quite literally had her back on that last run. That's her second for the afternoon. Trying to make out which lineman.
Number 90,
Much timeout, Hendeka.
T. Brown.
Their second.
What an effort. That's great teamwork.
That's another timeout taken here from Hendeka, and I imagine why. It's because this is their opportunity to take the lead here on this conversion. They want all the time they can to think about it and pick the right play, but T. Brown just coming in, and she deserves half a touchdown with there. That's a 3-point touchdown to her.
Oh, absolutely. Like, that's hard to coach, that sort of play. That's second effort. After your first job's done, she's gone and looked for a job, seen that her 6 was about to punch the ball in, got held up and just needed a little bit extra, and in she came.
Leslie got notified apparently earlier this game, and I think it was Jared Garrity who educated me in it. The aiding the runner rule has been amended, so you can do that. That's no longer a foul. You just can't pull your runner forward, which I think is a fair.
Yeah, so it's almost
assessment of the
effectively you could create a full-blown rugby scrum now.
Why not? 20 points to 14. Sorry, 20 points all, we should say. Following that Moran touchdown here to take the lead with 6 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. They'll go to Moran again. Moran caught a yard out. Scored! Converted! 2-point lead here to Hendecker.
Big play right there.
Both signals up now. Mercer confirms it. Hendecker with their second lead of the day.
And watching the replay there, Jess Simonte doing a really good effort defensively, managed to spin Moran around.
Oh, that's oh, you can see the plane gets broken. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, break it down and see how much of her leg made contact with the turf there, but I think most will call that a touch or conversion. Patu came screaming in on Torres. Torres dealt with that. There it is.
Yeah, and you can see that ball in her right hand, just breaking the plane. Yeah. Like I said, great effort by the Aces girls to spin her around. That's what you want to do as a defensive player, but on this occasion, it's a game of inches.
That it is, and boys and girls who are watching in the young division, that's why you get into the weight room. If you want to play this game into your adulthood, that is, you know, I'm not being sarcastic when I say that's probably a couple extra reps in the weight room that probably got her over the line there.
Yeah, leg drive, being able to hold herself up onto the weight of all those other players.
2-point lead here for Hendecker. Getting some love in the commentary box here is Ella Briscoe. This game getting set to restart here. Hendecker now in the driver's seat. Oh look, here's where it's important. I think they're talking weather in our ear right now, our producers, but probably something worth discussing, and I think will be covered by the time it comes in. But if by chance a storm happens to come in nowhere, more than a half of football's played here, and it will go, and if the game gets called, it will go to the team that's in the lead. Yeah,
exactly, and that's why, you know, Coach Summerfield taking a time out, being sure of what play you were going to run on your 2-point conversion, it could be the move that wins the game for them.
And just to update, looks like there's a couple new viewers here wanting updates on or background on these two teams. You haven't heard of these two teams before because they're amalgamated 11-a-side teams from the remaining 9-a-side teams in Gridiron Queensland, as we see this kick return fielded at the 31. Who's this in the 19 jersey? Pushing forward, sorry, it's Hodgson, that 3-9, it could be a 6 by the end of the game, the way that I'm going. Hodgson, dangerous, had a couple of seasons ago where she had multiple punt return and kick return touchdowns. Flags down at the 40.
Yeah, if there's a player on the field you don't want to kick it to, I can tell you it's number 13. My time at the Stingrays with her, she was a great special teams player.
During the return, illegal block in the back, return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
There it is, it'll knock them back a few yards. But to just continue that assessment there, two amalgamated teams to make an 11-side competition between the remaining 9-a-side teams, which is, and to put it very simply, predominantly, Hendecker is made up of Ravens, Raptors, and Aces 11, predominantly made up of Thunder and Gold Coast Stingrays, with a couple of Logan City players scattered amongst that.
Yeah, our weather people just said they gave us about half an hour. I think we have less, judging by the activity in the stands. We're quite comfortable in our little box here, but getting wild and woolly. Great
right
ball.
Side, and what a fourth quarter here for the 7 and Agnes Salofa.
Big don't argue. Way to take a shot and then still keep going for yards.
Where was she in the first half? I guess, watching Cubis make catches, but she has been such a factor here in the second half.
Absolutely.
First down and 10 from the Hendeka 39.
And we do have some rain. The rain has arrived.
Well, let's see how this affects it. And might have affected it right there. Ewan opting to take the run there instead of letting it fly. She gets it to the 30.
I'll spot her at the 20.
£20 to 22. And with the rain is coming, that's confirmed, and now getting reports of lightning coming up from the back of our stadium here at Sunshine Coast.
That's going to be a problem.
It will. We'll cross that bridge when it inevitably comes to us. But 5 minutes now on the clock. So if the urgency now picking up for Thunder. 5 minutes is still a lot of time, but with weather factors now being a factor, you want to get to the lead as quickly as possible. There's Mara O'Connor at left tackle. Ewers staying in the same formation largely for the second half. Here's Aces. Ewers will keep this herself. Navigating the trash around the line of scrimmage before being taken down around the 23. Flags came here from the near side sideline. As you can see, the darkness approaching as well, and that's just not the night, and maybe that gives you a very clear image of the rain that has well and truly kicked down the door and welcomed itself to this party here of Sunbowl 2020. And bear with us if we lose some of our shots, because this rain has come in so unexpectedly that our camera operators are a little unprotected, so bear with us. 4 minutes remaining here in the clock. Women's Sunbowl 2020 pitches it to Holly Dimmick, who went a little MIA in the second half. An eerie tension now coming over the crowd here at the Sunshine Coast Stadium. Everyone half watching the game, half watching the sky.
And if you thought the wind was a factor before, Kenny, it's really picked up now.
It's
You
become.
see the Aces settling into a run game, but
Ewers still persisting.
Ewers
with
wants
the
to prove me
throw.
wrong.
Pitch! Oh my lord! A pitch and catch to Hodgson and taken down there from
wow.
Herdman. That would have been one of the sickest hook and ladders I've ever seen. I don't think that was intentional. I think that was instinct.
I think it was too.
But Herdman,
And that's just some players making individual efforts.
Janie on the spot there, staying alive and not dying with the play. This wind is picked up. The rain is bucketing down. I make no apologies for my overly descriptive words. Ewers will try to do this herself. She's looking for the left corner, stretches the ball out, an inch short, if that.
And there's some defense coming up strong. A yard out.
Well, with the way this offensive line has been going, you got to think this Aces 11 side is probably a sneak away from grabbing the lead here. 2 minutes and 41 seconds on the clock here by our count. And here's the thing. If they score and Hendeka have got to try and get the lead here in the final 2 minutes, this wind is in their face, this rain is in their face. It'll be incredibly hard to try and pass this ball with the current direction they're going.
Yeah, look, right now, this is not a good situation to be in if you're Hendeka. They really need to hold strong here.
Right
Everything you got.
The effort needs to be here. Ewers will try to hand this off. How about a funky... Wow, they had three in the backfield and they ultimately give it to Superwoman herself in Liz Patu, and she gets the go-ahead score here with 2 minutes and 25 seconds remaining. Look at that for a formation. They had Lon Tulloch in the backfield as well. And it is Liz Patu.
I've seen that formation somewhere before.
I'm thinking 2015. Am I right?
You might be right.
A chance here to try to at least protect a bit more of the lead here if they can extend it to 6. And they'll give it to Patu again. She crashes over, waiting for a signal. No, they're going to call her short. Not a whole lot of arguments there from Aces 11. It looked good from our vision. I can only assume they've rotated her there. And you can see where the helmet falls short.
You can see the helmet fall short, yeah.
So,
that's a big effort. So there's still time on the clock for Hendecker here.
Rain bucketing down. These sand pits becoming mud pits. Can't imagine what's going through the head of the Stingrays and Raven men's sides. Give me a bit of company.
Well, I imagine the defense are going to look forward to it.
We just had the door open for a hot second. We could hear how loud that rain is. 26-22. 4 points now the difference. It was a 4-point game in the Sun Bowl last year, I believe. Oh no, 6 points. 18-12 if memory serves correctly, which hasn't been going great lately.
We're remembering things from 2015, but...
It's hit and miss on Rocks and Diamonds. Oh, and I don't know how intentional that was! Almost a recovery there from Aces 11, but it'll set up Hendecker at the 43-yard line on their own half.
And whilst normally you would think that kicking a ball along the ground when you've got the lead and you're going late into the 4th, you would think it's not the best idea. Certainly when the weather is like this, you're going to chance it and roll the dice and maybe try and get a fumble recovery.
48 yards is needed by Hendecker. 45-yard halves plus 3. Quick maths. And a low snap, but it is handled nicely. They will throw for Fuller. It is intercepted! That is Hodgson! And Hodgson is returning this all the way back, and that might be the dagger. Here she cops a shot over the sideline, but one might think that could be the final call here. We are still beyond the 2-minute warning. They will have a time here, but Hendecker have only got the 1 team timeout remaining here. Just some smart football should see Aces 11 here out with a victory. And for a second, Hendecker fans saw Cody Fuller with a step, I believe. But the pass, well, we talked about this wind and how it's having an effect on deep passes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's exactly what's come into play there. The idea was right. She had a good grip on the ball, but just unfortunately, as she's aired that one out, you could really see it pull up the brakes in the wind. And with 3 Aces defenders underneath it, it was an easy pick.
Well, look, if you're a nose tackle or a defensive tackle on the middle of this line, especially with you as going under center, I'm trying to get a push here. And they'll hand this ball off there to Dimmick. Dimmick trusted to protect this game, protect this victory.
So I've got the 2-minute warning now. If the Aces want to protect the ball and just run it here, Hendecker might still be able to get one more possession here if their defense can really step up.
Looks like this next presentation is going to be in the wet. Good thing we're prepared for all such events here at live streaming Brisbane and Gridiron Queensland. 26-22. They will throw. Ewers will protect this football. And she will eventually take the run down after a 3-yard gain here. And that clock ticks under the 2-minute warning here. my screen says Hendeka has one team timeout left, and that's
they're taking it now.
used just that moment. Even though the clock's...
Yeah, you never know with Ewers. That might have been a designed pass play that she's decided to keep, or it could very well have been a QB keep.
Very cool, man. So for those who might be at the stadium listening now, I know the on-field clock says 250 because there is an issue with the clock that is to represent 150, and that's what we've got shown here on our live stream clock as well. So it is 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining in this game. 0 timeouts left for Hendeka, and for Aces for that matter. So they might get one play by the end of this, if they can come up with a couple of back-to-back stops here. This is shaping up to be the closest match of the 4 Sun Bowls today. Aces have won 4 of the games between these two teams, and Hendeka snagged a draw and then picked up a win via forfeit. Both coaches truly believe that those first couple of games they treated as trials. It is all about today. And they will hand off to Dimmick. Dimmick's found plenty of space. The O-line does a fantastic job once more, and that might be the first down right there that will see Aces 11 etched into history here in GQ.
We do have a late flag.
We're on the 14, so we're going to the 7. After the play, personal foul, striking, number 11 defence. Number 11 is disqualified.
More than do it there. We are
That's unfortunate. They definitely did not need that.
And as a defender, this is the worst. It's one thing to wait out 1, maybe 2, but a full 90 seconds. I'm just waiting for the end here. It's a frustrating experience. Trying to see where the unnecessary... Oh, you can see it there. Yeah, emotions
can't
taking
do that.
control there.
But look, the deal was probably sealed when the O-line got a great push up front there. Running back, making it through, picking up that first down. That there's what, has really sealed this win for the Aces. Barring a miracle for Hendeka.
And it would only be a fumbled snap here that could lead to any sort of miracle result here. The team called Hendeka, hailing out of the Carina Leagues Club down in Brisbane. And knees now, and this is that situation where everyone's just waiting for the appropriate moment to explode with excitement on the winning sideline, and for the other sideline, you're dreading
seething with rage right now.
Seconds tick off the clock as you look forward to getting through the presentation and getting into the sheds, particularly with this weather.
When it's so close like this, one score in it, but this is the way the game's played, with your timeouts and the ability to stop the clock. Being able to kneel this out is an absolute luxury for the Aces. They don't have to run another play, and they will come away with the victory here.
And Liam Reeves grabs his umbrella and heads down for the presentation like the professional he is.
Pretty hair.
Gotta love seniority.
There we go. That'll do it.
And there it is. We are just waiting for Paul Mercer to do the customary raising of the football to make the result official. And seconds away now. Final 10 seconds, and Kelhausen has his second Sunball here in the women's division. Obviously picked up another as in an administration role with the men's with the Thunder senior team a while ago, and obviously last year finally got the hurdle, and there it is, your 2020 women's division Sunball winners, Aces 11. As the two teams retreat.
The Ace is celebrating big on the sideline. Unfortunate for Hendecker.
Looks like I might get you to have to read the show here while I take a headset down to you got on the field. Let's see your skills in work there. Ella Briscoe, let's see how well you can vamp in the light of the victory.
Kenny. I'll take care of it up here. You enjoy the rain. Both teams now just lining up to shake hands.
Am I running this down the lane?
Incredibly close game, unfortunately, just not being able to get there on that.
He's run down with a mic.
Big defensive efforts and big moment plays for the Aces when it really counted. Luckily the weather held off enough for this game to be able to finish, but certainly the men's final is shaping up to be quite a wet affair, as the rain that we've got here seems to be quite set in.
And musical headsets continue here as Liam Reeves and Paul Mills are just working out how to handle the post-game presentation in light of the crazy weather that has come upon us here in the second half of the Women's 2020 Sun Bowl. So bear with us there for those tuning in for the presentation. A lot of logistical issues are being sorted out as we speak. And just to update everyone, we will be getting some post-game interviews, but it will be audio only, unfortunately, just the way things have fallen with the rain. We lack some of the camera shots that we would usually have otherwise. And she doesn't have a headset in anymore, but I will take this opportunity to thank Ella Briscoe for taking her time to come down and keep us company and give us the insightful information she gave throughout the game here and this fantastic 26-22 result. You can't hear her, but she's thanking me profusely.
I'm thanking myself, Kenny.
Appreciate her company.
Thanks, man.
And I will talk you through here as we wait for the presentation to sort itself out.
See you next time.
Thanks, buddy. All right, so we are trying to... So I don't know if I might have to communicate this out to the teams on the field here, but we're going to have to get you guys to move closer to the dugout area, close to the sideline. Both these teams absolutely drenched, both head coaches completely drenched in this torrential weather that's come through. Celebrations taking place, and we will not be able to give you pictures of the post-game presentation, or we will try the best we can, but we will have you on audio very, very soon. Liam Reeves is making his way down there. He's got the headset and he's on his way down. And you can see the two teams. You see the camaraderie, and this is something that feels sometimes exclusive to the women's division, but they're taking their photos now. I won't be surprised if they take a team photo, a group photo I should say, after that. But it looks like Endek is making their way to the dugout for the presentation area now, and Aces won't be too far behind them. And here's what I talked about, the group photo between the two teams who were just combatants only minutes ago. And you can see how much respect there is in this sorority, if you will, of women's football. And that's a wonderful screenshot right there. Victorious team today. Aces 11, coached by Kel Housen. 26 points to 22.
I am standing where we're going to do the interviews.
Sound check if you can.
This is audio check, audio check, audio check, audio check.
All right, it looks like we are ready to go for interviews. If he is ready, Liam Reeves, interview at will. Down to you, buddy.
I think we've got it set to where you've been commentating.
Okay.
So like we talked about, you.
All right, I have been updated information. A minute from the first interview there, we'll be leaving you with pictures of the field there, but we will have interviews from the winning head coaches, some of the key players, and of course, your 2020 Women's Sunball MVP, and hopefully get some ambience of the winning trophy being presented to the winning side, in this case, Aces 11. They're just pulling in now. We're only seconds away. This is a little bit different, but hey, so is this entire year. Both teams getting into the safety of the undercover part here of Sunshine Coast Stadium now. 26-22. Full time here. And the Aces 11 defeating Hendeka in a fantastic game of football. Closest game we've had so far here today on Sunball Saturday. As the sidelines are clear. For those tuning in for the men's game, and well, we'll have to get you updated information on that because there has been some lightning spotted around. So we will get an updated start time for you there. And I'm just waiting now, or I think I'm almost ready to throw down to Liam Reeves. And just waiting for the green light. Those who might be leaving us now and grabbing a quick bite to eat is around dinner time for those of us here in Southeast Queensland. Do appreciate your company for however long you have tuned in with us today, whether you've been watching in from the youth or the juniors early this morning, or whether you've just tuned in to the last couple of seconds of the women's division, the exciting finish to the Women's 2020 Sunball. Do appreciate your company here on Gridiron Queensland TV, brought to you by Live Streaming Brisbane, with the help, of course, of GQ's proud clothing supplier, Tribal Sport. Looks like we're ready to talk to the coaches. And that's another 30 seconds. Another 30 seconds. See what come up with.
So we're going here first.
Sunshine Coast Stadium. And it looks like we are just about ready. Down to the dugouts. Liam Reeves, when you're ready.
Alrighty, welcome to the 2020 Women's Sun Bowl post-game, post-game awards ceremony. The way